What's good, y'all? This is Cypher from Farside TV, a huge hip hop head here. I'm an artist myself, and I know what it's like to listen to good music, make good music, and really just put it all out there and know who represents what side of the quadrant, right? You know what I mean? So before we get started, if you don't know me, I'm Cypher. I'm an artist myself. This is my YouTube channel, Farside TV, where you get music, animation, and podcasts from me. And I show you, my opinion, my honest, natural opinion on these things. So if you don't know, go ahead and subscribe for me if you don't mind. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and hit that bell for notifications so you can see more great videos like this. And you better get the good content. You better like this video. It spreads out, does a little algorithm thing, and then we all be happy. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get straight to it. The best part about this is, since it is the Mount Rushmore, I actually don't have to go in order. That's the best part. Because see, when it's Mount Rushmore, it's just four. Like, no particular order. It's just the four best to ever do it. The hardest part about this is the library of East Coast rappers ever to date is insane. Like, it's monumentally insane. And there's so many that have done it over the generations that people, it's gonna be debate, it's gonna be conflict, it's gonna be you're wrong, I'm right. It's gonna be that, because East Coast, first of all, they fans don't play, and second, it's like I said, it's such a huge farm of different artists over the last 5 decades. It's insane. 50 years of hip hop. So we're gonna break it down. This list is not only made based on lyrics itself, because too many people have bars, and these days a person can have bars and still be talking about the stupidest things with no hits. A person can have all these hits and have no bars. It has to be a good, healthy mix and combination of all that, including that longevity, not just physically, but in their presence overall. They have to be relevant to this date to be on this list of Mount Rushmore. So since we're doing the East Coast, it has to be an artist that heavily represents the East Coast, not just born there, but heavily represent the East Coast. So just to get that out there, spoilers, Tupac is not on this list. I know he's born in New York, but he is not a representation of East Coast music. West Coast, he's on the West Coast side. So when we do West Coast, you might see him over there, right? So today we're doing East Coast. So bear with me, everybody. Be cool and kind in the comments. We're gonna get into this, and I'm gonna give you a nice, simple, quick breakdown of each person and why they're on this list. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the big one out the way. Okay, of course, no pun intended. I can actually be talking about two artists right there, but I'm going to be talking about one right now, and that's Biggie Smalls. I mean, it's simple. There's no debate about it. I don't care if you don't care for his music in particular. Biggie is one of the best artists to ever come out the East Coast. His life ended way too early. His career ended way too short. And to be honest, I still have that same chaos theory with him. Artists like him and Tupac, if they were around today, there's a lot of artists that wouldn't be around right now. A lot of artists you hear now wouldn't be existent because of Biggie Smalls and their presence like his. Because you would have to follow that mantra. He was labeled as the guy on the East Coast. So if you weren't anywhere around that, you wouldn't even be accepted in hip hop as of today if he was still around. So that domino effect really played a huge part in this list. And with his vacancy, a person that took his spot would have to be around the same caliber as a Biggie Smalls. So that opens the door for our second entrant, which is, like him or not, Jay-Z. Jay-Z had huge hits. He has huge wordplay. Now, as far as being the best rapper ever on every freaking list they have a year, I don't get it. I'm not part of that. That's on them. I feel like it's a lie. I feel like it's a popularity contest. Whatever. As far as the GOAT, Jay-Z, no. But on the East Coast, definitely a Mount Rushmore guy. You gotta give it to him. He took Biggie's mantle and Biggie was gone. Jay-Z was known as the king of the East Coast. Nobody could touch him. It is what it is. So yeah, you got Biggie, you got Jay-Z. Those are two heavy hitters. After this, I ain't gonna cap. It gets tricky. It gets really bad. It gets real serious. It gets real intense. And that's why we have a healthy honorable mention list, which we will get to when we get to the fourth spot. So right now we have to pick a third one. A third person on that Mount Rushmore list. I gotta give it to DMX. DMX is, to me, the Tupac of the East Coast. He is an artist that expressed himself so vividly that you believed every word he said. It didn't matter what he said. You believed it. You could feel it. He, to me, is the most passionate artist I've ever heard. Rap, R&B, whatever genre. DMX has the most influence when it comes to actually putting your life in art, as they say. DMX is actually the reason why I rap. Listened to DMX as a kid. I had the cassette tapes. I had Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. I think I might even had, and then there was X. It's Dark and Hell is Hot. All that was, we had all those cassette tapes when I was a youngin'. So when I listened to him on that player, I just felt it and I just wanted to be there. I felt that. And mind you, at the time, Tupac was still heavy in my household. I was wearing the bandana as an actual baby, like he did. You know, I was heavy on the Tupac as a baby, literally baby. Everybody in my family heavy on Tupac, but DMX was there in my youth and in my childhood days, and he's the reason again why I rapped. It wasn't until 2005, 2006, after I was taking a little break from music, because I wasn't doing it for real. I was a kid. But it was that year, I was 11 or 12, and I heard DMX come back after a nice little hiatus with that song, Lord Give Me a Sign. And I listened to it on 106 in Park. It debuted, I remember. And I was like, I gotta rap. Like, for real now. I got to. Because one of my favorite artists I grew up with as a child ever just put out a song combining hip-hop with his relationship with God. That was insane to me. That was one of the most powerful moments ever. So I was like, I got to. That's my thing. God and music, that's my thing. So yeah, I need to make music, and I've been doing it since. And that's why he's so heavily influencing, not just me, but so many people. I feel like if people didn't talk about Tupac and Biggie as much, they would have talked about DMX just as much. It's just he's always been on the back burner when it comes to that as far as accolades, but he's been doing the same things they did, whether it's movies, diamond selling records. Like DMX was one of those guys, you know. So yeah, X is definitely on Mount Rushmore. So now let's get into honorable mentions, because the fourth spot is going to be a tricky one. I want to give an honorable mention to 50 Cent, because I really did want to put him on this list at the last minute, but I feel like lyrically his talent is so much downplayed by his hit making abilities that it narrowly puts him like on an honorable mention. Like if 50 Cent had the bars to match his success, he would have definitely been on that list, because the guy's been in movies, making shows, starring in movies, endorsements out the crazy endorsements, video games. I mean, the guy's been everywhere. He's a huge entrepreneur and definitely a mainstay in hip hop. He's been on the hip hop posters, East Coast for real, like heavy, hit maker, so many hits, more hits than probably every other East Coast rapper out there, if I'm thinking about it. But I just don't know. I don't know if I want to put him on the list yet. That's why I put him in the honorable mention category, because I'm thinking it's going to stay there. And the second on that honorable list category, I'd say, is J. Cole. J. Cole is a great artist, up to date, very inspirational, one of the most lyrical East Coast rappers ever. He's done his thing. He's very multifaceted. Raps, produces everything. Lyrics is there. As far as his actual presence, I feel like he is good in this time of age, but I can't see myself bumping J. Cole as much as I would the other artists I mentioned on this list. You can listen to DMX on road trips and anywhere else. You can listen to Biggie when it comes to having that nostalgia feel. You can listen to Jay-Z for both, or the nostalgia feel and up to date because he still makes music. J. Cole, he's more of to me, a generational artist, to where he's probably the best East Coast rapper right now. But it's kind of Drake syndrome. He's up there with him, but it's not the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, J. Cole is goated, but he's not. He's more of a king, while these guys are goats, if that makes sense. I think J. Cole is on that path and tier to be on the Mount Rushmore, but I just don't feel like he's absolutely just there yet. So now we have to cover the fourth spot. I really want to give it to Nas, just because lyrically he's one of the best to ever do it, but song-wise, I mean, if you can grade it on a piece of paper, lyrics A+, songs F, or D-, because the guy has the best lyrics out of everybody else. It's just he doesn't make hits. He hasn't really done much else besides being the bar guy. When it comes to songs, they're pretty much lackluster for the most part, mostly because of the beat chosen, and that's why it's hard to give him any more than honorable mention. But I want to put him on the list because he's been heavily influencing my career and my music too, to where I want to be as lyrical as him growing up, and I just wanted to be the best I could be. So I see him on there, but I'm not thoroughly convinced. Same thing with Busta Rhymes. I'm close to giving it to him because although people don't think about Busta Rhymes until you mention him, he's like lyrically, he's one of the best. Also, talent-wise, one of the best. Movies, hits. I feel like Busta Rhymes probably needs to be the fourth member on this list. Now I know that's going to create controversy, but listen to yourselves when you do. If you say, there's no way you pick Busta Rhymes over Nas, why wouldn't I? Listen to what I just said. They both have immense lyrics. One's been in a bunch of movies, that's Busta Rhymes. One's had so many hits, then to now. The other hasn't. The other is stuck in the past when it comes to accolades. Busta Rhymes has done a lot more in that area to me than Nas, and that's the only reason why I'd have him over that. As far as J. Cole to Busta, I mean, it's not to me preference based, but I mean, whose project would I listen to more now? J. Cole. But when I go over hits, I'm listening to a lot of Busta Rhymes hits. He guy has crazy hits. I gotta give that to Busta. And okay, now let me look at it again one more time. Busta Rhymes or 50 Cent. Lyrics. The lyrics beat 50. If 50 had the lyrics, 50 would be there, but he doesn't. He has something, but he doesn't have the bar, cipher, flow, like he doesn't have that. Busta does. Busta has the lyrics, the talent, the voice, the gift, the acting, the hits. He has everything. So that's why he's the fourth member of the Mount Rushmore of East Coast. So there you have it, guys. There you have it. I got it. We got Biggie, we got Jay-Z, we got DMX, and Busta Rhymes. That's my Mount Rushmore of the East Coast. Feel free to comment in the comment section and let me know what you think. Tell me how I'm wrong about it. Tell me if I'm right. And just have a healthy debate about it if you want, because we can talk about it. There's so many artists out there, especially on the East Coast. Why not? We got to talk about it. So let's talk about it. I'm Cypher. Love you guys. Subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notifications. You can get great videos like this. And check us out next time when we go over to the West Coast and see who is on that list. Until then, see you later. Bye.